let me just start with this. If you guys have seen The Visit, that's what my trip was like.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into.
How long has it been since I have uploaded? 11 months! It's been almost a year since I've uploaded. Don't come for me. Hey guys, so it's been 11 months since I made a video. I honestly have good reason, but like at the same time, not good reason. Listen, I moved twice, and the house I was living in, I couldn't film for various reasons. Now the apartment that I'm currently living in is for sure haunted. I mean, that's not the reason I couldn't film, but like, girl. Also, don't come for my nails. Let's not even talk about it. Don't come for my skin either. Listen, it's been rough, okay? I spent the last 2 hours of my life lost driving around without my phone in a town that I've lived in for like 9-10 years, but alright, so today we're gonna talk about my beach trip from hell, the summer of 2015. It turns out I'm an idiot, and it was actually the summer of 2016. Okay, continue. So Logan and I went to a beach house, alright? I'm not gonna say names, of course, so I'm gonna give people fake names. So the guy who lives there, his fake name will be Ted. What? Okay, so Ted. The woman, her fake name is Susan. So Ted and Susan live at this beach house, right? We had been talking to them for a while, and they were like, why don't you guys come stay with us? Totally on us. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. We have a guest room. We were like, hell yeah. So they offered for us to stay with them. We get there, they're super nice. Susan has like made our room all cute. Everything's like super great. It's awesome. So let me give you a little background on their house for a second. So it's 3 stories, right? There's a basement, then there's like the main floor of the house, then the top floor, okay? All the rooms are in the middle part, like the main floor of the house. In the bottom, there's like the garage and the basement. I'm gonna call the dog Spot, and I'm not gonna say its real name because then everyone will figure out who this is. So Spot lives in the basement. It leads outside to come and go as he pleases, but he stays like in the basement. He doesn't come upstairs, you know what I'm saying? Like he's not an indoor dog. They also have 2 cats that are like outdoor cats. This is where the story begins. So if I'm looking over here, that's because I have all of my messages with another person who knows them, and I'm going to use this as receipts. I will tell you that they're like older people, so just like keep that in mind. Basically, where their house is, it's at the beach. So there's a hurricane not too long after we left, and so I basically messaged my mutual friend, was like, hey, are they doing okay? Are they good? He said they rescued the cats. The cats refused to enter the house and put them in a boat with some food and water. Personally, I would have drugged them all in, kicking and screaming, but whatever. So when they say a boat, they have a boat in the garage. The cats like hopped in the boat instead of coming inside, which is like kind of weird. But I said, I can't believe he didn't bring them inside. Those poor kitties. He said from what Susan said, they refused to come in. Like they will scratch and flip out. I don't know. Seems strange. Oi. So I said, let me tell you, off the record, not saying anything to Ted, Susan did a lot of strange things while we were there. He says, yeah, she's kind of scary sometimes, extremely passive-aggressive, then she loses her shit and throws a tantrum. Very odd. You remember anything in particular, like juggling knives, spinning head around at 360? And I'm like, ha ha ha, little does he know. So I say, do I have a story for you? Just a second, gotta grab the laptop for this. I said, have you seen the movie The Visit with the crazy old people? And he said, no, never heard it. So I sent the trailer for The Visit, and I said, Susan reminded us so much of the grandma. We were scared shitless. And he said, watching the trailer now. Okay, well that looks like a lovely time. He said, what kind of stuff was she doing? I said, okay, so it started out with something little. I had a 2-pound bag of Sour Patch Kids. Don't judge me. That I carried around and I ate because I'm ridiculous. She literally, I shit you not, grabbed a handful and instead of eating them one by one, shoved them all in her mouth like they were pouring out of her mouth. I was so disgusted because I ain't about that. And she looks at me and goes, do you mind if I have any? And I was like, no. And she grabbed my bag and started walking around with it. That wasn't really scary or crazy, just like, let me explain this one for a second, okay? I had a 2-pound bag of Sour Patch Kids, and I like casually was eating them because we were watching movies and stuff, was casually just eating them out of the bag. This bitch, she grabbed a handful, shoved them in her mouth and started eating them, but they were like coming out of her mouth. Have you ever fed a horse at a petting zoo? You know how they just kind of, this is gonna sound mean. Okay, if you picture the Sour Patch Kids as oats and you picture her as a small horse, if you will, that's what it looked like. And it was the weirdest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, hear me out. Your girl has shoved food in her mouth multiple times, but never like that. Like, I've never seen someone eating out of the palm of their hand and then it was fucking weird. Okay, I have a small child as a sister. I've seen her eat. It's weird. Kids are weird. They shove shit in their mouth, but I've literally never seen this before. Not scary, just odd, a little bit strange. So I said, then we decided to watch Good Will Hunting because I've never seen it. She's sitting on one side of the couch, I'm sitting all the way on the other, and Logan and I look up the cast on my phone, and she literally, and I mean literally, hopped across the couch on her hands and knees, got right up, almost in my face, and said with a huge grin, "What you looking at?" And I said, you can't tell Ted any of this because I don't want to offend him. But then the weirdest freaking thing ever happened at night. So before I get on with that part, we're sitting on a couch watching Good Will Hunting. The couch is fucking huge. Like, it's a big ass couch. You know what I'm saying? Ted is sitting in a chair on the other side of the room. Susan is sitting on one end of the couch, like on an armrest. And Logan and I are sitting on the other end on an armrest. I'm like curled up into him. There's a good space in between us. You know what I'm saying? So we're watching Good Will Hunting. It's about the time that Tarzan movie came out, like the live action. So I'm looking at the guy in Good Will Hunting and I'm like, wow, he looks a lot like Tarzan. I was like, shit, I bet they're related. So I pull up the cast on my phone to see it. I'm like, yep, they're related. She literally, you guys, hopped like a bunny. It was fucking weird. Like on her hands and knees, like hopped across the couch in like 3 big hops and then got right up in my face, like this close to me. And then she said, "What you looking at?" But she didn't say it normal, like, "What you looking at?" No, it wasn't like that. It was creepy. She made a face and everything and this weird voice and she was like, "What you looking at?" Go fuck yourself. So I'm like, oh, no, we just, we pulled up the cast list because that guy, he looked familiar. So we, nothing really. She was like, oh, okay. And then like hop back. I don't handle crazy well because it freaks me out. It honest to God freaks me out. So moving on from that one, because that was just kind of weird too, you know? And he says, "I'm dying over here." That's hilarious. Boy, wait. So I say, I have the hardest time sleeping in different places. On top of that, I have really bad insomnia, so sleep isn't my thing. I'm laying there one night around 1:30 in the morning and I hear scratching. From scratching, it goes to tapping and then almost hitting the door. Like someone's trying to open the door and touching the doorknob. I keep the door locked because your girl's paranoid, so it sounded like someone was trying to get it open like crazy. So I wake Logan up because I'm thinking that I'm crazy, and we lay there for 30 minutes listening to it. Then it starts sounding like mumbling, and then someone's talking to themselves. It's Susan. And at that point, I'm like, holy fucking fuck, she's going to kill us. We low-key start freaking out at this crazy ass talking outside the door. We hear pacing back and forth, and then it just goes away. And I'm like, holy shit, we will not make it through the night. So we're lying there in bed, right? I am just lying there awake, just thinking about life, you know, good things, like not being murdered in my sleep. I start hearing things, okay? I hear what sounds to be scratching on a door, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why is there scratching on the door? From like scratching on the door, it goes to like, it sounds like somebody tapping, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, and it starts going, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Honestly, I don't handle that shit well because my house was haunted as fuck. So the moment that I start hearing weird crap like that, I'm like, peace, I gotta go. From that, it goes to like someone's jiggling the doorknob, knocking, touching the door and like jiggling the doorknob. And I'm like, oh my God, am I going crazy? So I wake up Logan because I'm not going through this shit alone. Like, Logan, get up. Like, there's something going on. Do you hear that? Do you hear that outside the door? And then he starts hearing it. So we're like sitting there listening to it. And then it starts sounding like someone is talking and mumbling. And I'm like, who is that? What is that? And then we're both like, it's Susan. Susan is talking outside of our door. Can't make out what she's saying, but like she's saying something. So then it sounds like she's pacing back and forth, like out in front of our door, touching the door, trying to get in. Hell nah. I don't play that game. We're both freaking out. Like, we cannot sleep anymore. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know what to do. It finally goes away and I'm like, great. Like, now I can sleep. If you guys have been on my Snapchat for like over a year, you would have seen all of this stuff on my Snapchat story because I talked about it in the car being like, you guys, what should I do? This was crazy as shit. Should I ask her about it? And the consensus was ask her about it. So that night at dinner, I did. I message him and I say, the next day I'm so freaked out, and I just casually bring it up at dinner. And I say, hey, were you up at 1 a.m.? And she fucking said, why? What did you hear? What did I hear? Let's think about this. If you're at somebody's house and you hear something at 1:30 in the morning and you ask them the next day and you say, hey, were you up at 1 a.m.? They would normally say, no, why? Or just, why? Not, what did you hear? I hadn't even said that I've heard anything. I just said, were you up at 1 a.m.? This is the point where I realized I had fucked up and I was for sure going to die that night. So I say to him, I'm sorry. If you're a normal person who knows nothing, you say, no, why? So I tell her and she looks down for the longest time. Ted is obviously uncomfortable and gets up and says, hey, Logan, you want to help me with the dishes? So Logan gets up to help and Susan says, well, you know, Spot was up. Spot was up. After telling her someone was trying to open my door, touching the door, tapping it, pacing back and forth and mumbling to themselves, she fucking said the dog who lives in the basement was up and active on the 3rd floor. So she was like low-key trying to be like, oh yeah, well, I mean, the dog was up. Maybe you heard him? Maybe you heard him? Maybe that's what it was? No, bitch, I heard you. It was your voice. I saw the door hand. Okay. So then I say, maybe I could have believed that if it didn't happen again every single night we were there. Louder each night. We couldn't even sleep by the end of the trip. And I get home and I start telling my mom and Shane how insane all of this stuff is. And Shane said the same thing happened to him. And my mom sleeps through anything. And Shane said, remember, Jenny, I kept trying to tell you, but you didn't believe me. So I get home, totally freaked out. My mom's like, how was your trip? Was it good? Like, how were Ted and Susan? And I'm like, you guys, the weirdest shit happened to us while we were there. She's like, what are you talking about? I explained the entire story, start to finish, just like this, starting with Sour Patch Kids, ending with, hi, I almost died in my sleep. And Shane's like, oh my God, Jenny, this is what I was telling you. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, I was sitting up one night, I couldn't sleep, I was playing a game on my phone, and I hear the exact same stuff happening. Talking, mumbling, somebody trying to get in, pacing, and I'm like, oh my God. My mom's like, I thought you were just joking. Like, I don't know, I thought you were joking. He was like, no, hell no, I was scared. I was like, you know what, maybe she sleepwalks? Maybe that's a thing, maybe she sleepwalks. But like, that also doesn't explain her other weird behavior. It was so weird. And she would like mimic things I said. I said, don't do this to me, you know I hate that, to Logan, and she repeated it to me. She said, don't do this to me, you know I hate that. Who does that? I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, that's just a little bit about that trip and how I was terrified and literally thought the visit was coming to life. Like, I don't understand how all of this stuff happens to me, but it does, and I don't get it. So that's that story. Sorry I haven't filmed in 11 months. That's not funny, but like, that's me. But I am going to be uploading, I promise. I'm probably about to make another video about the craziness that's been going on here. Not haunted-wise, just craziness-wise. You should like and subscribe and go message me on Instagram and follow my Snapchat because I shit you not, you guys, I post on Snapchat like every day about the chaos that is my life, and there is a ton of it. If you want to see me make any other kind of videos, I'm probably going to start doing like lifestyle, fitness, health-wise videos as well. I'm honestly thinking about doing like Vlogtober. You know what you guys want to see, so anyways, until next time, lock your doors, sage your house, always carry pepper spray on you, just, you know, light things. Okay, bye guys!